So that's the video we're gonna watch today is versus mode on fighting games by Guile Win Quote. So let's go take a look at that. I don't think Brave's set up yet. Yeah, I don't even have fucking VTuber Studio up. There we go. Hello. Let's set up Brave really quick. That is, what source was that? It's just called web. It's just called web browser. Okay. Yep. There we go. All right, let's go check out this fucking video. It's called Versus Modes in Non-Fighting Games. Why don't we have a look? Let me just adjust myself down here. Let's go.
A big hot topic in the fighting game community is how the genre needs more single-player oriented content to complement the player versus player action. And while this is true, I'm also a firm believer that I think more single-player focused games should have versus mode shoved in them for no reason. So,
why?
I'm gonna take a quick look at a bunch of video games that are not fighting games, but got some fighting games in them.
Okay.
As long as you let me stretch the definition of what a fighting game is a bit. And there's no better way to start this off with than probably the
Double Dragon, that's a good one.
Double Dragon on the NES, which has you fight over who gets the girl at the end of a co-op run, but also has a totally separate versus mode where you get to choose between.
Yeah, I remember that. When you play Double Dragon, like at the very end of the game, if you're doing co-op, you have to fight each other, which is really funny.
Characters to duke it out. This is obviously a super primitive versus mode, but honestly, it's a pretty unique experience for the NES.
Well, it's also not just a traditional fighting game in general. Like, it's a beat-em-up style game, so you have more literal ground to move around in. It's like a more isometric 3D space instead of just you move up and down or whatever, you know?
And don't be surprised that there's actually tech for this. Now to transition from Double Dragon to Dragon Ball, which is a franchise that is primarily made up of fighters in the video game space.
I think this is a GBA game. I think this is Dragon Ball Advance Adventure. Hi, if anyone come in, we're doing well. I played a GBA Dragon Ball game like a few days ago. I think it was called Dragon Ball Z: The Legacy of Goku or something. So I was in a voice chat with Super Mika, and she was like, "Hey, you should check out this game." So I did, and she was like, "Hey, skip the first game, play the sequel." And I'm like, well, doesn't that not cover the beginning Dragon Ball saga? And they're like, sure, but like, you're gonna not like it. So I was like, no, I'm gonna fucking play it. I should have fucking listened to her. Because there were these enemies that showed up, little blue dogs that like fought you. And they were so bad to like, they had really bad hit detection and everything. So it's like, oh, what the fuck? What am I doing? Yeah, that's the only Dragon Ball game I played on GBA. And then I played One Piece for GBA. God, that game is so fucking good. It has really good sprite work. The music's really fucking good. The combat's really fucking good. It's just a good-ass fucking game. It covers the entire East Blue saga, I think. So it's from La Vida, or whatever her name is, or Alvida, to, I think, Rogue Town, right before they, GBA developers on hard. Yeah, GBA games in general were some of the like the GBA generation was one of the first times where shovelware was really heavily brought out, but also there was a lot of weird licensed games too, which most of them were shovelware that kind of were really good. I know there's like some Nickelodeon games that were really good in the GBA, and also like just licensed games on console stuff. Like this is where like Jimmy Neutron, Attack of the Twonkies, and Battle for Bikini Bottom came from. It's where the King Kong movie game came from. We won't ever have an era where there was a lot of games, licensed games, that could just do whatever the fuck they want. Hell, we don't really have any licensed movie games anymore. Like, there isn't a Deadpool or Wolverine game. There isn't a Joker game. You know what I mean? There isn't, like, what's an action movie that came out? It's like a Mission Impossible, what is it? Dead Reckoning Part 1 or something. There isn't any, like, movie tie-in games that exist anymore. And I kind of miss that, because now we're at the point where games are starting to get so democratized. Like, game development is getting so democratized that you have a lot of people that can just make whatever the fuck they want with any budget they want, right? That's why we got like weird indie shit as well. Because like Squirrel Gun is a good example of like, I just want to make this game. Budget? What's that? I'll just fucking develop it, you know? If they just gave a bunch of these weird fucking indie titles who could do whatever they want with the license, we get some fucking cool ass shit. But we're in the point where a lot of developers and companies nowadays tend to really stick with the very like safe bets. Like, we're going to spend all of our budget on one game instead of spreading out our budget towards several smaller titles, basically.
But don't worry.
Back to game.
Because even the rare non-fighting game digital Dragon Ball outing has a super sick hidden fighter in it. Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure is a advanced platformer beat 'em up that goes through the entire Dragon Ball story from Pilaf to Demon King Piccolo, and is totally worth playing on its own. But becomes even cooler when you find out there's a versus mode with 8 playable characters and Marvel-style combos.
Oh, interesting.
That
is MVC too.
With only one attack button and another for specials. But there's also parries and guard
Oh my
breaks.
god, Krillin is... Hold on, go back a bit. Krillin looks so goddamn...
Incredibly simple with only...
Look at him, he's so tiny compared to the fucking big dude. I guess this is before the time skip?
One attack button and another for specials. But there's also parries and guard breaks, teleport mix-ups, and generally just feels and looks super good. This game is up there as one of the greatest Dragon Ball games for me, and I played this mode a ton as a kid.
Mecha Tao is crazy. Yeah, I can tell.
Next, I want to take a look at the hidden versus mode that's found in Mega
Man
Man 7 on the
Base.
Super Nintendo,
Oh, no, just Mega Man 7.
which can only be accessed by code. It's a super simple 2-player battle mode that has you choose either Mega Man or Base, and you shoot at each other until someone blows up.
I know it's like a GBA PS1 game called Mega Man and Base, but the PS1 game is like really bad and GBA fixes some issues.
To give the character...
If I was going to be playing a Mega Man game on stream, I'd probably play the Zero series, because I've already beaten all the X games from 1 to 6, 7 and 8 don't exist. And I've beaten some of the Mega Man Classic games where it's just kind of samey for me. Zero is very... I like... When I play Mega Man X, if Zero is playable, I always pick Zero, because I think his sword combat is a lot better for my personal tastes than, like, X's Cannon Buster, I think it's called. I just like sword combat. I'm a sucker for sword combat. I've said that many fucking times. That's why I'm gonna be playing fucking Pirate Yakuza when it comes out.
There's a little spice though. There are specials like Mega Man's Arrow Slash or Base's Booster Kick, which are done by doing Hadouken and Shoryuken.
Look at his face. Hold on, I'm like in the way a little bit. Look at his fucking face. He's like, ah.
Motions respectively. Most interestingly to me though, is that this game was released before the arcade title Mega Man The Power Battle.
Yeah.
Which basically took this idea and expanded on it. So my hunch is that this was some kind of power battle prototype, but that's just a theory.
Well, it could also be, it's not just a literal prototype. It could also just be, let's test this game out on another release, see if people like it.
An awesome coincidence that happened while I was making this video was that a 2-player mode for Super Punch-Out on the Super Nintendo was just found. That lets a second player control any boxer of their choice against first player Little Mac. This has my gears turning, because what if there are other secret 2-player modes in other games that we just haven't found yet? This is a thought that will truly keep me up at night.
I was playing Punch-Out a bit today. I will play it on stream sometime on actual hardware, but like, Punch is really good.
Alright though. I know what you want from this channel, so let's get weird. The Adventures of Little Ralph is a Japanese-only classic platformer released on the PlayStation 1 in 1999 that is just so good. The gameplay is super solid and a nice challenge, and the sprite art is downright gorgeous. But even cooler than all of that is that this little game becomes a legit fighting game during its boss battles.
Hey yo.
You see, Ralph was a super cool dude who got transformed into a child to make him weaker. But when he gets his sword,
kind of similar to like, dude, Wii Punch Out was the only one I played. Shit was mad fun. Wii Punch Out, I've heard is really good. I'm only familiar with the NES one. But the dude being a kid to weaken his strength really reminds me of Space Ace for some reason. The Don Bluth, one of Don Bluth's games, where the big buff dude turns into a kid because of a ray gun that the main guy uses, that the main enemy uses.
He temporarily reverts back to his adult self and learns how to Hadouken and Shoryuken. I just love this transition from cutesy platformer to fighter, with even the controls themselves totally changing to traditional fighting game controls and Ralph having motion inputs for specials.
Cool.
After beating the game, you unlock a versus mode that also lets you play as all the bosses who have unique moves, crazy combos, and even cool mechanics like this character being able to control her air momentum for dumb mix-ups.
These like type of graphics and like the style kind of reminds me of like original Guilty Gear, which is kind of neat.
Little Ralph is definitely a great example.
Like Guilty Gear for the PS1.
Of not only a hidden gem, but also the peak example of what this video is striving for. A fighting game that is hidden inside of a non-fighting game.
Was that rocket shooting out of him? Was it?
And even cool mechanics like this character being able to control her air momentum for dumb mix-ups. Little Ralph is definitely a great example of not only a hidden gem.
I don't see a rocket. Do you mean like a fireball?
But also the peak example of what this video is striving for. A fighting game that is hidden inside
the green guy at first.
I just love this.
Oh my god, did he fucking fart? Wait, hold on.
But when he gets his sword, he temporarily reverts back to his adult self and learns how to Hadouken and Shoryuken.
Is his fucking air... His fucking air dash. Is it a charge up move? Is he a charge character? Oh my god. He just farts up. That's his charge up. Weird.
Example of what this video is striving for. A
Thank you for
fighting
that.
game
Really
that is
appreciate
hidden
it.
inside of a non-fighting game. But platformers and fighters aren't too many degrees removed from each other, right? What about a genre known for its, lack of true gameplay and places storytelling? Well, in the Japanese-only Sega CD point-and-click adventure,
Yeah, Urusei Yatsuri? That a dating sim?
Yatsura, Dear My Friends, based on the titular manga and anime, you could find some video game cartridges hidden around the main character Ataru's house, which can be brought to a video game console to play. And thankfully for us, one of those video game cards happens to be a fighting game.
Subspace
Just as a heads
Fighteroo.
up, while this game was released only in Japan on the Mega CD, I'm actually playing the wonderful PC recreation of the game by Ezekiel000.
Interesting.
Which is also translated into English with mouse and keyboard controls.
Okay.
Which is perfectly suited for a point and click. Anyways, this little fighter inside of the game is Subspace Fighter Nitro, which is a little janky 2-button fighter starring Urusei characters. Obviously, this isn't the deepest fighting game ever. But
well, 2-button fighters kind of reminds me of like Neo Geo Pocket Color type games as well. Like that had a 2-button thing, which I'm still like, why do people like that?
Of this existing is super cute to me, and I'm sure fans of the series will get a kick out of this, even if it's just for a few minutes. It's a cool distraction, and that's all it needs to be.
Yeah.
Keeping on with games where story is the crux of the adventure, let's
Star
take a
Ocean?
look at Square's almost masterpiece that definitely needs a remake so they can actually tell the story that they wanted to, Xenogears. This game
Xenogears.
is a grandiose JRPG classic that hits all the...
I am not sure if we're gonna get into Xenogears because Xenosaga and Xenoblade. If we don't, remember when we think that, oh, we're in the golden age of gaming or whatever. Remember this. There was supposed to be a Xenosaga HD remaster that got canceled because Namco didn't think they'd make enough money. Just keep that in the back of your mind, okay? Just remember that.
hot tropes of late 90s thought-provoking greatness. Damaged main characters that need therapy, heavy religious themes, and giant robots.
The
And
trauma.
thankfully, somewhere along this 50-hour adventure, you could stop what you're doing
Not
and
like
battle those
this.
giant robots. This mode
We
plays more
could
like virtual
we could have been saved. Jump scare with aggressive Zune. Oh yeah, I do that now. I really want to play Xenosaga. Not on stream, because I don't stream turn-based games, but I really want to play Xenosaga. The thing is, those games are fucking expensive. Do you know how much the first game is? Well, the first game's not that bad. It's like $30. You know how much the second game is? Fucking... Let's look it up right now. Let's look it up right now. I want to see something first. I want to see if this will dox me. Can I just look up, like, this? Yes, it will dox me. Okay. Just wanting to make sure. I'll just, like, take a screenshot of some stuff, like Xenosaga episode... Let's do 3. Let's do 3, okay? Do you want to see something that'll hurt you? Doing something that'll really, really hurt you. I'll show you. I'll show you right now. This is how much it costs now. Episode 3 is like $200. Do you want to see something else that'll hurt you? So I've been wanting to get in the Dot Hack series because I have my PS2 fully set up for streaming, right? Do I see something that'll really fucking hurt you? Hold on. Dot Hack PS2 for what is 4 called? Quarantine. So this is the game that yeah, okay. I'll just show you just if we're trying to find like a yeah, okay. So I make sure I get like the proper version of this. $241 fucking dollars. I have all of those. If you were near me, I'd be like, can I borrow them? I want to play them on stream and I'll send them back. But I know I have a GU Last Recode. I think that's like the HU master, but like I want to play the original.
On or custom robo than a standard fighter because you battle in an open 3D space. And I mean like really open. Look how far you can go. There are tons of different mechs to choose who all have different
was $359? No, it was like $250 or something.
moves. And boosting around feels
I always have someone try to sell a Dot Hack for like $359.
good. But it's a bit simplistic and it'll usually devolve into spamming whatever your best move is. But as simple as it is, I remember playing this a lot when I was a kid.
Oh my god, the fucking guy's wings his hands.
I just thought it was awesome that the
Our hands'
JRPG
wings?
with the combo battle system also had a fighter side game to mess around with. Also, it has a training mode with frame data.
I wanna fuck that pink robot. I wanna fuck that pink robot. How big is it? I don't know. I'll stick my dick in it though. Is that possible?
Some major fighting game releases still don't have frame data. God. Now let's take a look at another JRPG that's a Japanese take on Western RPGs.
Okay.
Ah, yeah. You see that?
Are we about to talk about fucking Kingsfield? I don't know you mentioned Kingsfield today.
That From Software logo? You know you're in for a treat. This is Shadow Tower.
Shadow Tower, go. When I think of From Software PS1 games, I think Echo Knight and I think Kingsfield. Okay. Go back to how you were reviewing that one FNAF month. What are you talking about? Cassette Girl, where I'm like, I want to do the fucky with her.
Which is a first-person dungeon crawler that's one of the predecessors to the Souls series.
Yes.
This game is esoteric, super brutal, and probably very archaic to most at this point.
Okay, this definitely reminds me of like Kingsfield.
But I've always liked these kinds of games, and the low poly look and lack of music give Shadow Tower
Also Echo Knight as well, but like it's from the same dev, so probably similar.
insane, rich, and lonely atmosphere.
Ideas.
And it also has a versus mode. Yes. Years before
What are these SMT demon ass looking fucking characters?
everyone jokingly called Dark Souls PvP a fighting game, From Software already made a fighter. And in From Software tradition, the versus mode is so overly complicated and dumb that it's kind of charming. You see, there are over 150 monsters in Shadow Tower, and for every one that you kill in the game, you unlock them to play in the versus mode.
These look like fucking... These look like reject SMT demons, I swear to God.
Now, a lot of these monsters are very basic or can be considered reskins of each other, but that's still a massive roster. To make it even dumber though, once you unlock a monster for versus mode, you only unlock them for your save on a single memory card, which means to play against another opponent, they also have to have a save file with monsters unlocked on a separate memory card.
Jesus Christ.
After jumping through several hoops though, you can finally play the Shadow Tower fighting game. which is as beautiful as you could probably imagine.
Uh-huh.
The game
I appreciate it.
tank controls. Every monster has different.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck? He has no head. How can he see? Can he just see like the fucking hole on like his head, like where his head should be? What the fuck?
Monster has different buttons and different amounts of attacks. And obviously, there's no semblance of balance between anything.
Oh, I'd be the armor
But it's
slayer.
so weird and cool.
He has a giant X.
These monsters have such awesome and gross designs that I can't help but to just love this mode, even though it's
Holy shit, he has no legs. Is like, you know how like hot air balloons have like fire that kind of raises them off the ground? Is he using that? Huh.
not good. Because of how bad the balance is, every match feels like it could end in a second, which just makes things so damn stressful and just plain funny. And you know what?
Sounds
This
kind
is
of
just
fun.
a cool idea in general.
Sounds kind of fun.
Bring this back from software. I want to play these freaks in a fighting game. Please. And finally, let's take a look at the PS2 now.
Hey, I have
Which
PS2.
had so many 3D beat-em-ups with multiplayer fighting game versus modes that honestly, I could make an entire video just about that.
The
But
bouncer?
instead, I'm just gonna quick-fire talk about some notable ones, starting
The
with...
bouncer?
The bouncer.
Yeah!
Look, I know that this game is just a
We're
big...
playing this game, by the way. I just got a copy of this. We're playing this game today. Or not today, but like, we're playing this game sometime. I have a PS2. I have a copy of this. We're fucking playing it. It's gonna be great.
meme at this point, but I have super fond memories of this game because this was the first game I ever rented on the PS2. And at the time,
Yeah, this was like a very early PS2 title. People mistake it as a launch title. I don't think it was a launch title, but it was a very early title. Oh shit, Zayori! Thank you so much for the raid. Really appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, I'm Veni Okojo. I'm a action streamer. PS8. My computer's too much. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. We're just gonna be chilling and reacting to some stuff. So if you want a more chill experience, feel free to stick around. Zeri, if you need to like go do some stream aftercare, go eat, drink, whatever, and to the viewers as well, go do that. We are watching versus modes in non-fighting games, and I'm talking about the bouncer for some reason. But yeah, we're gonna be playing this game at some point.
Hydration is important.
I just fucking drank. Okay, I'll do it again. I got gamer sups. I have the Shadow of the flavor. My fucking waifu wears cup came in. Speaking of waifu wears, do I have my promos up? Can I move this like? I'll move this down here actually. Okay, like. I don't know if it's gonna show up, but eventually it'll show up that you can get waifu wears. Code Store Gremlin. I got a cup from them, and it fucking shipped a few days ago. Finally.
Nomura could do no wrong for me. I saw designs like this, and I ate it right up. Also, the bouncer is made by Dream Factory, who has also made a bunch of cool, interesting fighting games.
Yeah, Urguys! Fucking, we're gonna play Urguys sometime. That's gonna be fucking sick.
I was really excited to play this again and try the versus mode as an adult.
Urguys has Final Fantasy VII characters.
And, okay, this is boring. It's almost like each fighter is just taking turns attacking, and the hits have no impact whatsoever.
Yeah, because it's a fucking beat 'em up that's turned into a fighting game. It's also an early PS2 game.
But hey, they had 4-player versus mode with the multi-tap running at 60 frames per second in the year 2000, so I gotta give Square some credit here. So the memes were right about the bouncer. But hey, I've played much worse. And much worse is right here with Enter the Matrix.
Oh, that's why I didn't really want to do the Matrix. And the Matrix is kind of poorly developed. It just feels like a tacked on side story to Matrix. I think it's called Matrix Reloaded. We have the better Matrix game, which is Path of Neo, which I will also be playing on stream sometime on a real PS2.
Now I know people love this story canon action romp through the Matrix universe, but man, I know my mantra is to be positive with fighting games, but it's hard for me to find anything to love in this versus mode, because
It's
just
so
take
jank.
a look at it.
Yeah.
The camera is god awful, and buns legitimately feel just
The
horrible.
Xbox version of the game was one of the few titles that ran at 1080i. Really? 1080i? Interesting.
I have a strong tolerance when it comes to bad games.
Yeah, I have the PS2 version of Path of Neo.
And honestly, in the fighting game space, I don't think many truly bad fighting games actually exist. But even I had to flush this one down pretty quickly.
This subway station stage kind of reminds me of like Tekken 4. Tekken 4 is my favorite Tekken. I love Tekken 4 a lot. Kind of reminds me of that. It's like a lot of people were really mad that Tekken was using a lot of non-open spaces. Like you could fight in realistic locations. You could get stuck in pillars and be infinite, which was really fun. But a lot of the hardcore Tekken players bitched and moaned about it, and they never did that again. Like, everyone says Tekken 5 is peak Tekken for PS2. I still think Tekken 4 was, like, great. Like, I love the atmosphere. I love the music. It's why every goddamn Tekken stream, I play the... Hold on, there's a certain theme I have with Tekken. Tekken 4 player. Hi, Silver. Welcome in. Player select theme. I always play this. Wait. Is it called Jet? Yeah. I always play this and I go, last time on Tekken, Heihachi actually came back from the dead. Kazuya is like, oh shit, I got to go on a plane and fight my dad. Fucking, what's his face? The son guy is like, I gotta fight my dad and my granddad. I always love that shit a lot. And it has to start off with Tekken 3's King of Iron Fist Tournament. Do I have that soundbite still? Please tell me I have that soundbite still. Hold on. I don't have that soundbite still. Oh no. I gotta fucking recreate it for when I'm playing Tekken 8 again. That's fine. I can always recreate it or something. Back to video game. They still use the same story in current games. Kind of. Tekken's story modes have always been really unique. In that, sure, it's kind of the same themes of like, Heihachi and Kazuya fight, and Jin is like, oh, I gotta fight both of you now. It's always been that, but like Tekken 8 was really, really cool. Fucking 8 was so fucking cool. Only Tekken to play is Tag 1 and Tekken 6, I think, or 5 for like 7 and 8. Yeah, I played all the Tekken games except 6. So I played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skipped 6, I couldn't emulate it properly, 7 and 8.
Now for a movie adaptation that actually shocked me in a
Episode
big way.
3!
Check out the Star Wars Episode 3.
Yeah! A friend of mine was showing me this on the PS2. Really quality license game, which is kind of neat. People play that for like May the 4th sometime.
The video game, which of course has you hacking and slashing through the plot of the movie. But who cares? I just want to see some Jedis fight. The Versus mode is an open 3D fighter with strings.
I played this. I remember my friend was like, I think she was always, I think it was like Anakin. I think maybe the Emperor as well. And I was like just a random character. Always meet every time because they spammed the electric move.
Juggles and special moves. And you know, it honestly...
Holy shit, that juggle was really nice.
It does look kind of epic when characters start dodging and stuff. It has all the prequel era characters you probably expect.
Yeah.
While even throwing in an OC and Old Man Kenobi in for good measure.
Cool.
But what surprised me
Darth Vader
is that this game has fostered an online community just for the Versus mode. It has a Discord with almost 200 people in it.
Cool.
They're playing matches, posting tech, and this just blows my mind. It makes me super happy that a community exists.
Yeah, those combos look so good.
Also,
Maybe I'll play sometime.
Grievous is top tier. So this makes the game automatically good in my opinion.
We have 4 lightsabers.
Next up is Beatdown, Fist of Vengeance.
Fuck is
Man,
this?
growing up I remember thinking that this game was really cool. Beatdown is a peak mid-2000s aesthetic game where you run around and fight random dudes to level up and also beat them down so bad that they're forced to join your little underworld hustler party.
Yakuza? Kind of reminds me of Yakuza. Where you're in an open city and you just run into fucking dudes and that's Yakuza. What was this game called? Beatdown Fists of Vengeance. When the hell did this game come out? 2005. When did Yakuza 1 come out? That's Yakuza 2. Did Yakuza rip off Beatdown? Probably not, but it's a weird fucking coincidence.
Fist of Vengeance. And man, growing up I remember thinking that
That's
this game was
Kiryu's
really
father.
cool. Beatdown is a peak mid-2000s aesthetic game where you run around and fight random dudes to level up and also beat them
Kind
down
of the
so
Yakuza.
bad
Oh
that
my
they're
god.
forced to join your little underworld hustler party.
Even the combat reminds me of it.
The versus mode takes the one-on-one fight straight out of the main game and plays pretty decently, but for whatever reason, I remembered it being way crazier and a lot more fun as a kid. But then, I realized I was getting Beatdown Fist of Vengeance mixed up with Urban Reign, which literally came out a few weeks after Beatdown.
Yeah.
And man, Urban Reign is so cool. Urban Reign is a mission-based beat-em-up by Namco that is just so over the top and exaggerated that it oozes fun.
Let me write these down real quick so I can get future game ideas. So what was it? Beat Down PS2 and then Urban Reign PS2. Okay, go on.
Fun straight out of the screen.
I see the
posted a clip
RGG
of
engine
myself
again.
playing this
Yeah.
game, just getting my ass beat, and had so many replies just praising this game that I'm ashamed that I always got it confused with Beatdown. And all this greatness applies to the versus
Sword
mode too,
combat!
which is just a lot of fun and lets you do so much crazy stuff.
I love swords.
Since this is a
I'm a
Namco
sword
game,
lesbian.
you also get Paul Phoenix and Martial Law from Tekken as guest
Oh
characters.
shit!
And yeah, you can death punch people until.
Oh, it's a Namco game. That makes sense. Prototype Beatdown I still looks like a character from RGG. Really?
Urban Reign rules so hard, and now I gotta start shilling this game and run some 4-player matches at locals in the future. And now for the last game we'll be taking a look at. Well,
Mortal
this
Kombat.
might feel like kind of a cop-out, because this is a spin-off title of an actual fighting game series.
Yeah.
You know what? When else am I gonna get to gush about this game? Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks.
Shaolin
might
Monks,
actually
I've heard is actually really good.
be my favorite Mortal Kombat, because the main game and its versus mode is just so much damn fun. The main game is a co-op 3D
Shaolin Monks.
platformer
Yeah, I've heard Shaolin Monks is like really good.
beat 'em up with cool moves and strings that let you do some pretty insane combos.
Maybe I'll
And the
put this on the
versus
list.
mode replicates that perfectly in the best way possible, because it means that all the jank wackiness you can do to a random ogre can also be done to your unexpecting friend. But seriously, this game just feels super good and lets you do
Monks.
so much dumb fun stuff.
PS2.
And playing these familiar characters against someone else in a way that's removed from the roots of the series while still being true to itself is just awesome and makes me want a game like this for all my favorite fighters. In a lot of my videos, I usually preface some games I talk about by saying that they're awesome.
Kind of
but they're
reminds me of like Power Stone in terms of gameplay.
not gonna show up at the next Evo. But no, this should be at Evo. I want to see this played at the highest level in a stadium packed with fans gushing over it. I love this game. Please port it to literally anything. Please.
Ports to phones, Monkey Paw. The Monkey Paw will curl for you.